Okay, everybody, I'd like to please invite everyone to take their seats to join us for our next presentation here at the Planet MicroCap Showcase Vancouver. Up next is Jason Roy from Electrovaya. Jason, take it away.
Thank you, Robert. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to start off by thanking you all for making time to come hear the presentation from Electrovaya. Sorry about that, a little technical difficulty. So we'll take the standard disclaimer as read. Just to formally introduce myself, Jason Roy, the Director of Corporate Development and Investor Relations for Electrovaya. Electrovaya, who are we? We're a lithium-ion battery company that has a patented technology surrounding a ceramic full separator. Our mission really is to accelerate the energy transition, and the key takeaways on this slide is basically a safer and better battery through our technology advancement. So Electrovaya is currently located in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, which is our Canadian headquarters, a 63,000 square foot facility where I work on a daily basis, excluding today. We also have in Mississauga our Electrovaya Labs division, which is pushing forward with next generation battery technology. And we recently acquired earlier this year in the US, our headquarters is a 130,000 square foot facility in Jamestown, New York, about an hour south of Buffalo. This is our planned cell and module pack assembly facility. It's housed on a 52-acre campus, which allows us to expand our potential growth to re-onshore our full cell and pack manufacturing. Just a little bit of a glance of our history. Electrovaya was founded back in 1996, went public on the main board of the Toronto Stock Exchange in 2000. So we are not a newcomer to this industry, always been at the forefront of lithium-ion battery technology for decades. I'll expand a little bit more on the breadth of our team, both on the director and management side of things. Kind of see here that we, in the earlier days, in the early 2000s, we had some great exposure working with the likes of Microsoft and NASA, basically projects that were keeping the lights on for the early days of Electrovaya. And then moving into the EV space, we were able to work with companies such as GM and Suzuki and Chrysler, to name a few. More recently, in mid-2015 or 2014 to 2017, we had acquired a 700 megawatt per year plant facility on the Daimler campus. And that was to, if you see the car there, the electric smart car, there's about 20,000 of those electric cars that are operating today without any safety incidents. So quite an achievement to showing you the pillars of what Electrovaya has as far as the battery technology and separating ourselves from our industry peers, which is safety and cycle life. Today, we're working with Raymond Corporation on the OEM front. Raymond is a wholly owned subsidiary of Toyota Industries. And that being said, is one of the largest fully electric forklift manufacturers. And that's the market segment that we're in today. So what's the success based on in regards to our technology? We firmly believe we have, again, safety, a high safety battery that provides a 1,000,000-mile battery today. And what better application to be working in is in electric forklifts. These are heavy, intense use vehicles that are operating 24/7 in operating facilities such as distribution centers, cold storage, food, food, manufacturing, third-party logistics. Our customer base is Tier 1. We have over 12 Fortune 100 customers that are currently working with our batteries, operating in their material handling forklifts. Our experience is unparalleled. Over 25 years of industry experience, and I have the pleasure of working with some of the brightest minds in today, from engineering to scientists and their doctors of field of electrochemistry, and as well as solid technology, solid state batteries. Now, we firmly believe we're in a high growth area right now. Looking at from 2019 onwards, we've been able to double our revenue consecutively, year over year. So we see this trend continuing. Now, this is really, a bold statement, potential multi-billion-dollar pure battery play. Why? Because problem one, the legacy automotive manufacturers are having industries in regards to safety and longevity, and that's both in commercial use as well as in passenger vehicle use, which is what we're not in today. This is something I'll allude to a little bit more in our next-gen battery technology and further slides for solid-state batteries. There's high-profile recalls. There's various other technologies as far as LFP that provide a lower cost and are different types of chemistries that allow for electrification to happen in lithium batteries. The opportunity itself is really large. We firmly believe the market segment that we're in today with heavy-duty forklift application is what's making and driving our revenue today. But we also see the opportunity with electric buses and energy storage becoming more and more prevalent, and we'll see future success and growth within our company in the years to come. In respects to execution, our company has a nice number of employees right now, at over 100 employees and rapidly growing. We think there's automation that's going to help be able to increase our current expansion and growth that is on its way. Just to show you a little bit of the capabilities, in respects to our 100+ patents that we own, is around the cell, where most providers today that are building pack or final pack assembly are working with third-party cell manufacturers, where we, on the other hand, own our technology and have this manufactured in-house through our own contract vendors overseas. But with our expansion plan in the U.S., we will be re-onshoring that cell manufacturing to be domestically North American, Made America compliant. Now, as you can see here, the packs are kind of on the right-hand side. These are some of the examples of the current batteries that we're building today: 24, 36, 48 volt, even 90 volt battery systems that are powering forklifts. Those are those light blue batteries. And then, of course, up top are some of our commercial electric bus battery that we've actually launched in 2021 in testing phase. So again, going back to our current battery, it is branded the Infinity battery for a reason, because it lasts a really long time. That equivalent multi-million mile battery, just to show you on slide on the left, basically shows you the longevity scale. Our batteries are showing after 9,000 cycles, and this is data provided by a third-party provider in New York State that shows after 9,000 cycles, our battery are retaining roughly about 87% energy density. So we see that there's a potential for this to become a 14,000 cycle battery. And if you put that into equivalent, would be roughly about 3.5 million miles on an average charge of a car for 250. Now, this application is overkill for the passenger vehicle market, where we couldn't be competitive with our experience in the electric vehicle space, passenger vehicle space. Showing to the right-hand side, this is a little bit more of a graph comparing our batteries' longevity in equivalent miles to some of the usual suspects of providers of battery cells globally. I won't name them, but you can imagine who they are. The opportunity for the Infinity battery is really immense. It's in our current application for e-forklifts and warehousing. Again, 24 hours a day, 20 to 24 hours a day usage. It is a multi-billion-dollar opportunity today. We see the emerging markets of electric bus and trucks being a very compelling sector that we do want to get into, and are starting these relationships today where we could potentially see our emerging high voltage battery system become very prevalent with these end users, and as well as energy storage. Now, overall, what really makes this is a more efficient, full lifespan, lowest total cost of ownership. So this is the real value driver for the end user who's looking at Electrovaya. We're not the cheapest battery in the marketplace today, but we are not the most expensive. But we feel with our technology, we really differentiate ourselves, and hence the reason why we can competitively put our pricing out there to achieve roughly a 30% gross margin, which we did last quarter in Q3. And we can talk a little bit more in future next slides further down. So currently today, the Infinity battery, some of our OEM relationships, again, I had mentioned Raymond in autonomous guided robots, or AGVs. We're working with a company out of Florida called Jabil Technologies, and they also have a subsidiary called Badger Technologies. And we've provided over 2,000 batteries to operate their robotics, autonomous robots. And of course, we are looking at the emerging truck and bus markets, and we are talking with 3 major tier 1 transit bus OEMs globally, and hope to have some further developments with news in the coming months or so. We'll say the next quarter to be safe. As I also did indicate, there's over 20,000 of those Daimler smart cars that Electrovaya has powered their battery systems and haven't had a safety incident to date. So what makes our technology unique is the fully ceramic separator. We have over 36 patents that cover this. Basically, the ceramic separator, we have the know-how how to use it. We are the only ones who have the patents to use this that we are aware of course. And this is what really truly provides the game changer when it comes to safety in the battery, and as well as we've realized over time, adding to additional cycle life. So just to kind of give you a comparable, everybody's got a smartphone in the audience today and those listening. Most cell phones today are working with a polymer-based separator. This is what, in layman's terms or simple terms, prevents the positive and negative from touching one another. If you'll notice when you charge your battery or use it quite extensively, they get warm or hot. This is where an area, when they get past a certain level of degrees Celsius, that the shrinkage happens. And as you can see here on the left-hand side, on the 3 of them, from 25, 143 to 188, Electrovaya stays reasonably zero shrinkage, where the competitors who are working with a coated polymer base, they start to shrink. This is where you have a potential short that could happen in the battery, which in technical terms would be causing a thermal runaway, or to us, a fire. And this is something that really allows us to be differentiate us from the regular battery manufacturers that are in the marketplace today. So this is another third-party validated testing through UL. We have a 2580 rating, which basically is a very extensive fire propagation testing that was done. They basically lit our battery cell on fire, and at a certain juncture in the test, they realized that it didn't propagate. So basically, UL came back to us notifying us that we were the most benign test that they've ever had, regardless of chemistry. And that's from LFP or to our Infinity battery that is NMC-based chemistry. Some of the customers that we're working with, as I'd mentioned, 12 Fortune 100 companies that are currently operating with our battery systems in their day-to-day forklift applications. This is a list of not all of them, so that list is actually growing quite extensively, and we see future growth in this market segment and doing our fair share to cut the proper piece of the pie, should I say. Sales and growth momentum. We can see here on the chart that year over year, the demand is growing extensively, and we tend to see that our capacity to build additional megawatts of power is increasing as our Jamestown operation comes into effect in early 2025 fiscal year, end of 2024 calendar year. So a year from today, I'll hopefully be coming back to you and showing you that our plant will be in operation, and we'll see a lot more success and future demand as we continue to grow. So a little bit about Jamestown. As I'd mentioned to you, an hour south of Buffalo. Really great opportunity, great government incentives we received as far as state. Roughly over about $10 million in total grants were awarded to us to open up operations here. We've already started the hiring drive after we completed the acquisition of the asset last year. We've just recently hired our first plant manager, and starting from that individual coming down, there'll be more and more employees joining the Electrovaya USA operations, and looking forward to getting our upcoming pack assembly, high voltage pack assembly, which will be the first phase of Jamestown expansion. And as we close out, already announced a term sheet to finance that roughly about $50 million of CapEx required to get that plant into operation, to build the cell and pack assembly. We're hoping to close that in the very foreseeable future, and hopefully you'll all be watching as we put out that press release and give the details to that in the foreseeable future. Scale up is quite rapid. Our current demand, we can see that in our stage one for this would be roughly about a 300 megawatt capacity. As I discussed, equivalently, that would be about 150 to 250 million in revenue. And of course, stage two, we're looking at going to 600 to 1 gigawatt of power, which is roughly about $500 million in annual revenue. And then going into stage three, where we'd be looking to use that 52-acre campus to really build our footprint out, which would be a 2 to 5 gigawatt capacity, which would be equivalent to about $1 billion USD in revenue annually. Another advantage with Electrovaya and our in-house team is we've also created eVision. eVision is basically an analytical tool that allows remote monitoring of our battery systems in the operating facilities of our end users. It enables them to be able to track the operational usage, look to optimize chargeability of these vehicles, to really overall drive that return on investment to the customer who sees the lowest cost of ownership with our battery systems today. And you know, it's important too that with these analytics, the C-suite are able to see the high rate of return on investment with utilization, health and safety, to have data to really be able to crunch things down and look at next year's RFPs that will hopefully be won by Electrovaya. So our high voltage battery line, which is really segmented to, and this is still the Infinity line, but just a high voltage pack, which would be a 52 amp hour pack. We are looking to really open up these markets for the electric bus, truck, and as well as energy storage. Again, still providing the fundamentals of our Infinity battery, highest cycle life and safety, lowest cost of ownership, modeled, tailored design packs for the end users, albeit energy storage, truck or bus application. And what really sets us apart, there are no other companies, to my knowledge, that can offer a 10 to 12-year warranty on a battery. And this is what's really a game changer to the OEMs that are looking to electrify their vehicles. To have a warranty that could back up the life of that vehicle, today's technology and batteries, lithium batteries, cannot meet that. And we firmly believe we're that standalone outlier. Just to show you some of the packs in the high voltage system, these are a little bit more of the, as I'd mentioned to you, the 52 amp hour pouch cells. I am not the technical guru on the team. Definitely can do my best to field questions in the Q&A period, but as a humble man that I am, I have no shame in saying, great question, I'll get back to you with the right answer. So this is a shot here of our facility in Mississauga at our headquarters. This is showing you the semi-automated modular assembly line for that high voltage. This will actually show you a pilot to what's going to be built in our Jamestown operation to really build out capacity to meet the demand of the transit buses and energy storage that we know are coming down the pipeline. Competitive advantage, I think we've discussed a little bit more in regards to total cost of ownership, cycle life, energy density. Now, moving into our next generation battery technology, it's solid state. This is really something that people are coining as the holy grail for passenger e-vehicles and other applications such as aerospace, drones, air taxis, etc. This is basically doubling the energy density in a battery today. So just imagine your electric car today, passenger vehicle that gives you 350 miles, will allow you to double that. So something to think about. Now, again, taking our ceramic separator technology, this is compatible with this new battery technology of solid state. It will be used. Again, aligning ourselves to be the true differentiator between other players that are out there searching for that solid state battery technology. To kind of show you a comparable here, again, we're not looking for high cycle life here. It's not about longevity. We're looking to achieve a 500 to 800 cycle lifespan for that solid state battery. As you can see here on the infinity on the far right for cycle life, getting us to that 9,000 cycles today. The solid state battery, we're looking more to around that 500 to 800 level, which would be quite adequate for a lifespan of a passenger vehicle that's driving today. Kind of showing you a little bit more of the technical layers. It's a singular pouch stack that has multi-layers. This is getting more into the technical weeds of things, but kind of showing you what it is that our team is working on at our solid state battery development in Mississauga. Now, the accelerated growth here, this is just trying to show you a little bit of the financial performance. As you can see here from 2021 to our projected sales of 42 million today. We're looking to double last year's revenue. The last 2 quarters we've maintained an EBITDA positive and cash flow situation, which is quite a rarity in the battery manufacturing space today. And we hope to achieve this on the full year with our guidance of 42 million, which our year end is September 30th. So stay tuned as we'll have those numbers later this year. Now, we are listed on the NASDAQ under the symbol ELVA, as well as the main board of the Toronto Stock Exchange. I think our market cap today is just shy of about 120 million US and 170 million Canadian. I think there's a lot of upside potential that's still to be unlocked. We're still relatively an old company, but an untold story. And we're very grateful to have that opportunity to be presenting today here at the Planet MicroCap to the audience in front of me and those who are listening remotely. So just a little bit of the team, very young, dynamic team. As you can see, quite a few doctorates on our management team, and as well as our board of directors. So a very seasoned team, over 30 plus engineers in-house that are both electrical, mechanical, hardware, firmware, software. It's all done in-house. And to our doctorate teams that are working at Electrovaya Labs are really complementing what we're doing today and what we're able to achieve tomorrow. So in a nutshell, this will conclude the formal presentation, and I'd love to open it up for some question and answer period. Yes, sir. Do you have any tax credits? To your first question, no comment. There's no affiliation with those companies that you had mentioned with Electrovaya. Now, coming to tax credits, I think here in Canada, we are very grateful that there are a lot of R&D tax credits available today, such as IRAP. There's also some other government fundings called NGEN, as well as SDTC. These have been instrumental in allowing Electrovaya to develop our current Infinity battery today and the launching of our new high voltage battery pack for the markets that we're looking to grow our revenue in. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I'm always concerned about lithium in my technology is advancing extremely quickly now. I mean, you're working on your solid ceramic solid potato battery, and I worry that other competitors are, there's a lot of competitors working on solid state, the holy grail of lithium ion safety and longevity. I'm worried about first to market. Are you?
That's a great question. There are a lot of peer groups out there that are chasing after this with a lot bigger balance sheets. That being said, I'm quite confident in our team's success. We're not a new startup. We're not a de-SPAC company. We have a very successful, experienced team that has brought in a product in the early 2000s from the whiteboard to pre-commercialization to commercialization and revenue and profitability today with our Infinity battery. We have the technology and understanding. We are looking to unlock it, but it's a war out there in simple terms. Yeah, but that's to grow their current capacity of batteries for their passenger vehicles today. More of the peer groups in the solid state battery would be more along the lines of QuantumScape, Solid Power, SES AI, MicroVast, to name a few. These are the companies that are extensively valued at over $1 billion today, burning cash quarterly, nowhere near to commercialization or profitable. Here we are, ELVA, who is profitable, growing its revenue, and simultaneously working on next-gen battery technology. If we keep our nose to the grind, we can always be aware of who's in our peer group and what they're doing, but stay focused on the task of achieving pre-commercialization first. We did it once. Who says we can't do it again with next-gen battery technology? But only time will tell. Any other questions? Just so that you're all aware, I just got an email. This has now officially been placed on EDGAR, so you have access to this. It's also on our company website. Would like to take this opportunity again to thank the Planet MicroCap team for allowing me to present today. Again, my name is Jason Roy. I will be staying around for some time if anybody would like to speak with me offsite. And for those who are joining remotely, my contact information is here. You can reach out to me, and I will do my best to get back to you within the next 24 to 48 hours with any questions that you may have. Thank you very much for your time today.